In society today, we are being attacked constantly with inauthentic conversations. Fakeness, trying to look cool, trying to be somebody we're not. That is why the Damn Dude podcast is here to have the authentic conversations that need to be had in a way that will make you think and say, Damn Dude.
What up, everybody? What is good? Welcome to the Damn Dude podcast.
Damn Dude.
This is season 3, episode 71, and this is a show where we have the conversations that need to be had in a way that'll make you think and say, Damn, dude.
Damn Dude.
Damn, dude.
This show exists to help educate, entertain, and make an impact on the different contexts and perspectives that we have in life, because I truly believe that the more authentically we have access to different contexts and perspectives, the easier, smoother, and just flat out doper life is. You dig? The overall theme of the show is authenticity, and that's what's always going to be at the forefront to the best of my abilities. So, welcome to the show, you guys. We got a real motherfucking special one for you guys today. You guys, we have part 2 of the official Yamamoto boss interview.
Damn Dude.
So, we sat down last night, we recorded it, we chopped it up for like 5 hours. This podcast episode is not 5 hours. I'm just talking about what we were chopping it up, and it was real as fuck, and it was dope as fuck, and we were able to capture some magic for you guys. And our initial idea was to go over his top 5 trending songs right now and have him break them down and explain them. But here's the thing is, you guys, the way that Yamamoto writes, the way that he is able to simplify years of events and put it into a couple words is absolutely fucking mind-blowing and out of this world. I'm telling you guys. So, because that's the situation, we started off with one song, we started going through it, and we're like, damn, this shit is deep. I don't even know if he hit the last like portion of the song, because it was kind of explained in the whole story already. So, what we did is we broke down the song DEADLOCS. And for those of you guys who've heard that song, you're familiar with the song, you'll be absolutely mind blown and fascinated about the depth of the song, how fucking deep it is. Because as smart and as creative and open-minded as you can be, you simply cannot grasp the depth and the scope of where he's coming from, and truly how much mastery it took to condense and make it make sense in the way it does and still honor all the people, all the story, all the elements of it respectfully, mindfully, very intelligently, very well thought out. And so we break that down, and then we get into different topics about loyalty, gangster mentality, family code, and what this all means. So, we've got this shit goes deep, and it's real as fuck, and this is some good shit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna break it down. When we spoke a little bit on the song, like I think that's the number one going right now. It's easy, it's catchy, it's just a dope song. Kids, fucking old people, everybody in between likes it, jam into it. It's just one of those songs that like, I feel like, I mean, these songs are nowhere in relation, but you know how like, if you hear, what's that shit called? Like, one time now, y'all, chop, chop, tap, tap. The Cupid, or like Cupid Shuffle or Electric Slide, or any like that type of shit, right? Where it's like, it doesn't really matter where you come from. You're like, yo, this shit's catchy. This is cool. Like, that's how I feel like is to a certain capacity. It's like you don't really have to be from any type of this or that or whatever to just vibe with the song, right? So we get into that a little bit, give some shout outs to some different local artists and artists on the come up, established artists, etc. And like I said, this is just some of the realest, most authentic shit you're going to find on the internet. And we had to come together to do this. And what we're going to do is go through and break down all the different songs just over different podcasts. We get into, I even asked him live, like, bro, like, how come you didn't charge me to show up here the first time? Right? And it was like, it was like one of those things. It's just some real man shit. Like, we're there like fucking just being real as fuck. And this is what I believe that society, or what's missing from society right now. And this is what people are absolutely craving. And that's why we had to do this. This is history in the making, you guys. Without further ado, let's get into it, guys. Enjoy. And, one last note. I always do this. Make sure you go follow my man, Yamamoto _boss on Instagram. Go look up his music wherever you can find it. Download the album, support. This is a good dude through and through. Yo, go check him out. Go support him. Go listen to the music and trip the fuck out on this episode. Much love, you guys. Enjoy.
Damn, dude.
What up, everybody? What's good? We got the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Yamamoto Boss in the house once again. Welcome back, bro.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Yo, so, man, all right. So we decided we had to run this back again. There was something that you mentioned on the last podcast, which I thought was crazy, which was when I first started following you, you had like 30 something shares on the videos. And then now it's up at those same ones with like 30 at that time are now at like 30K plus.
Oh, yeah.
And
definitely.
I'm sure it's probably even more than that, like right now.
Yeah, it's still growing.
Yeah. No, that's so cool, man. That makes me happy. So I guess what I wanted to do today is to be able to paint a picture and like really make a dope documentation in history and have you go over your top 5 current songs right now. So that way people can understand your mind, your process, what the songs actually mean. Because when you go through and you describe these songs, like last time we did it off air, and I was blown away by the depth and how much skill was put into these songs to condense so much real ass shit into a song. And it's like, damn, I was blown away. So I guess let's just start off with, is there anyone in particular you want to start with? I just wrote it in the order you had sent it to me.
We can go with
All
DEADLOCS.
Right. Cool. Yeah. So first one is DEADLOCS. Tell us about that. How'd you get to that? Tell us about the song. What was your process? What mind state were you in when you wrote that?
So when I first wrote the song, I heard the beat, and of course, the lyrics just came naturally. And so DEADLOCS is really about my life story, very condensed, all the gang activities that I was doing in Fort Smith, Arkansas at the time, between the age of 12 all the way up to 18 when I left Fort Smith. And so there was actually more stuff that I did. Obviously, I'm not trying to incriminate myself. However, I want to paint some of the stories that did happen to me, to the gangs that was out there, because there was more than one gangs. And I want to just make sure, like, anybody who listens to the song, let them know that, like when you hear a small city town like Fort Smith, when you go there, it's like, if you're a tourist, you go there and it's like, man, Fort Smith's really beautiful. It looks nice. I can raise a family here. But anybody who's really from Fort Smith will tell you, like, if you're not wealthy, because Fort Smith is split into 2 sides, north side and south side. If your family's not living in south side, you're gonna suffer in north side. Not all kids suffer in north side. It's just you have a higher chance of your kid being a gang member, and that's just how it is in Fort Smith. right? You have a lot of Bloods, you got a lot of Crips. Actually, the Crip population overwhelms the Blood population, but there's other gangs like, like the Mexican gangs, and I think one of them is called Felicia 13, and then you got, MS 13 out there too. The Salvadorians are out there, believe it or not. There's other Mexican gangs are out there too. Some of the cartels from Mexico and stuff, they reside out there too.
Oh shit.
Yeah, because a lot of them from the Texas cartel that came out of Juarez, they travel into those small cities and to establish their network.
Makes sense.
Yeah, since it's cheap, it's like, hey man, we can set up camp here, start pushing products out there like meth and stuff like that, and then continue, owning the territory, which is hard because, like before meth, people was just selling weed, and then all of a sudden meth came out of nowhere and took over.
Fuck.
So DEADLOCS was pretty much, we'll start off with the lyrics. I'd say when I was 12 years old, I got locked up in juvie hall. Met a nigga named Cutthroat, my nigga crippin' hard. Niggas inside getting jumped, booty holes getting plugged. So when that happened was, I was 12 years old and I was sitting in the classroom with the homies. Well, they're not really the homies anymore, but because they snitched. But what happened was, a lot of them, you 12 years old, and a lot of them were just like, oh, you ain't bad, you ain't gonna rob that teacher, woo the woo, right? I was like, whatever, man. Like, I ain't got nothing to prove. So I'm just sitting there, and like the 3 other kids that was there with me in front, and it's funny, they did it in front of the whole classroom, which is stupid. But anyways, the teacher had dropped his wallet, right? And they took it from him. And so, obviously, they tried hiding it. And so when the teacher confronted the kids, they were like, hey, let me give that. Where's my wallet? And all the kids were like, oh, it's those Asian kids. They stole it from you, right? And then they tried to threaten him, right? They tried to threaten him. It's like, oh, we ain't got your wallet. What you gonna do about it? You gonna search us? You gonna search us? And then, and so they locked down the whole classroom. And they passed me the wallet, right? So I was like, all right, I'll hold on to the wallet real quick, And then they tried taking those 3 kids with them and said, oh, we ain't got the wallet. See, they searched them, they ain't got the wallet. And they was like, oh, no, they passed it to the other dude right there. I was sitting right there. I said, I ain't got no wallet. I said, I don't know what you're talking about, And then they were like, then they tried to search me, right? I was like, man, you search me, I'm gonna hurt you. It's like, I'm a 12-year-old kid. I shouldn't have not been saying that to a teacher.
Yeah.
But anyways, we got aggressive, and the cops got called in. They pulled us in, and they got us for robbery, right? So we went to juvie. We go to juvie, and the other 3 dudes said I was the ringleader. I was the one who did it, who told them to do it. And so, me not being a snitch, I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. I was like, yeah, just, y'all want to be free? Go be free. But I'm going to remember this day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, they all got bailed out. Obviously, I tried to call my uncle, and he didn't bail me out. So, I ended up staying there indefinitely. In my mind, I already knew that, like, my uncle gave up on me. I feel like he gave up on me. Yeah. And so, anyways, I'm in there. I see all the dudes in there. I knew I was the only Asian dude. That was not true though, because there was another Asian dude in the next cell block, and they were all like hooting and hollering at me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, hey, what's up, chink? What's up, goop? Woo, right? And in there, I didn't know nobody. It's my first day in juvie, and there's different kids of different age. You got as young as 6 years old all the way up to like, 18, damn near 18, right?
Yeah.
So I get locked in, and then I get locked in with another white dude, and he seemed cool, He wasn't like really trying to do anything, but he told me, he was like, man, you better watch out. Like, there's a bunch of white dudes ready, since you're the new kid in here, they're gonna try to fight you, right? I was like mentally prepared. I was like, man, I ain't ready to fight nobody right now. So I called out the CO, and I called him a bitch. I'm like, fuck you, you a bitch, you know? And he said, say that one more time. Who said that? I said, fuck you, you a bitch. He's like, you're on lockdown 24 hours. I don't give a fuck. And then he goes, 2 days. I was like, keep going, motherfucker. He said, all right, you locked down for a week. I'm like, cool, whatever. I'm locked in for a week, so none of the other dudes, you know, but the CO would fuck with me, man. He would like he would stomp on my sandwich and then push it under the door. He would stomp on my orange and shove it under the door. He'll stomp on my milk, pass it under the door. So my floor was always messy. The only thing that was edible was the orange and sandwich. I had to drink the water, of course, you know, and then I would take the busted milk carton and then turn it into a cup. Mm-hmm. I was smart about it, and then I would just my roommate would have to take out the trash for me, you know. Even though like the CO stomp on the sandwich, still eat it, you know.
Yeah, you gotta eat.
Yeah, and that's all they would give me: sandwiches, orange and milk.
Damn,
busted milk. I would never actually get the milk.
Fuck,
you know. So my cellmate that was next to me, right next door to me, one day I just hear him scream. Right. Actually, it's funny because he actually knew who I was, and I knew him since we were a lot younger. He was like, I can't say his name because I don't want to embarrass him, but he was like, "Yo, Jay, is that you?" I was like, "Yeah, it was good." "Oh man, I didn't know you got locked up." I was like, "Yeah, man, that's some bullshit. I'm here. I'm just waiting for get out one day." And then he said, "When you getting out?" I was like, "I don't know, man. They said they were supposed to give me a hearing. They didn't tell me nothing. Nobody contacted anybody. So, shit. Even the COs didn't know what's going on with me. Right?
Yeah.
So, anyways, I knew he was in the next cell blocking me, right? And one day I hear him scream, scream in pain. And then I'm like, what? I asked my cellmate. I was like, "Hey, what's going on over there?" He was like, "Oh, he's getting raped." Fuck. I was like, "What?" I was like, "No way, man. The same dude I know." "Yeah, man. His cellmate, he rapes him every other night."
Fuck.
I was like, these are teenagers, man. I'm like, what the fuck? The dude's, and he was 1 year older than me, so he must have been 13, and his cellmate must have been 16. I was like, a 16-year-old raping a 13-year-old? That's weird, bro. Even in juvie is weird, you know?
Yeah.
So that's where that story came in. I was 12 years old, got locked up in juvie. And then, even though, I skipped, I met a nigga named Cutthroat, my nigga Crippin' Hard. Actually, that part's much later. So when I said niggas inside getting jumped, that part was saying, they was ready to jump me. But, me being smart that I was, I avoided that because I know that people was getting jumped in there, right? So I avoided that part. But I knew for sure booty holes were getting plugged, which was a dude next to me, right?
Yeah.
So after I got released, I walked downstairs and, I looked to the left. There's no Latino dudes, by the way, at that time. So the Latino population was almost none at that point. So it was just mostly whites, 2 Asian dudes, but the one Asian dude is owned by a white dude, and then blacks. Mm. Of course, I'm going to go hang out with the blacks. It don't make no sense, right? Yeah. Knowing what's happening. Mm-hmm. And my cellmate said, he told me, be careful again. So obviously I was drawn towards the black folks. I go down there and I'm like, "Oh, what's up, man?" And that's where I met, everybody. Now, Cutthroat is not an actual person per se. It's he's the idea of all these characters that I meet in these timelines. So, the guy that I met, of course, I'm not gonna say his name, but he was just a kid too. He was only 11 years old, but they're all Crips, baby Crips, baby gangsters. They were just kids. Remember, this is juvie. They're all baby gangsters. They're all kids between, the youngest was 11, and all the rest were and of course, I'm 12 years old, so they're just talking and say, "Hey, man, just these white folks are weird. You stick with us, you'll be all right, but it's we can't protect you like that." because you're not one of us. I was like, shit, man. Like, how do I get in? Got to get jumped in. I was like, shit, let me get in there. You know, and it's like, gotta understand, when you win, right?
Yeah.
I was like, shit, man, I understand. You know, because my brother, it's not like I wasn't introduced to gangs before. My brother and his clique were all in gangs. My sister wasn't in gangs. They were all in the same clique type shit. And then, but I never resonated with their peoples, even though my brother and my sister. But they always treated me like the kid outside the gang. You know, it's like the third wheel.
Yeah.
So they never wanted me to be involved with whatever they was doing. But I already understood what was going to happen. Like, yeah, I can hang out with these dudes, but they're not going to protect me. I get it, you know. So, like, I already made a decision to join them. So, so I said, so the next letter said, which side you claiming, little nigga? I said, North Side Crip, cuz that's where I, again, in my mind, I said, all right, I'm joining, right? That's where the story began. Cripping is not a trend. Spilling blood is not a sin. Throwing up the seas when you can. Ride with y'all in the bins, putting rounds down range, hitting licks to make the ends meet. Tap that bottle of Hennessy. Now, pretty much those were like, you gotta be down for anything. Doesn't mean like I'm out there shooting guns and killing people. Just saying, if the homies say, hey, we gotta go out there and to do what we need to do, you gotta be, this is the code. You want protection, you wanna be part of the community, that's what you gotta do. You know, we drinking, you drinking. You drinking, they drinking. You fighting, we fighting.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing, you know. And then the hook comes in with one for the DEADLOCS. Rest in peace, cuz. And I repeat that line again. So one for the DEADLOCS mean, like, DEADLOCS obviously means a dead Crip, right? LOCS is an acronym for Love Crip. So pretty much when a gangster dies, you in the gangster world, we tend to pour a drink out for a gangster, right? When we tell you, hey, pour out a drink for a DEADLOC, either whatever you're drinking, whether it be a 40, be a beer, could be a bottle of liquor, you pour some out for the DEADLOC, you know. That's what it is. And you know, just like a soldier in the military, you know, the soldier in the street is no different, because at the end of the day, soldiers, they volunteer to defend their country. In the streets, you volunteer to defend the people around you in your community. You know, some people would say, "Oh, it's stupid to be a gangster, man," but you don't understand when people are ganging up on you and you have no, like, that's why like a lot of bullying happens. You know, you get 5 bullies, you know, beat up the weakest one. What can you do? You know, just accept it that he's going to be bullied forever. You join a gang, let the same 5 bullies try to bully that gang.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And people think, oh, gangsters are bullies. It's rare to see any gangsters actually bully anybody. I've never met one.
Facts.
Yeah, never seen one gangster say, oh, I'm a bully.
Yep.
You know, even my ops, you know, they was never bullies. So that's why I was like, you know, if there are gangsters that bullies, you know, that's definitely not code, you know. So so when I go into the second verse, when I was 18 years old, I was working as a waiter, got locked up for a bid. Cut got locked up for a bid, boozing weed and liquor, booking bits on the Raiders, selling paint thinners to the Fienders. There was war on the streets, Brown Pride versus MS-13s. So that part is pretty much a summarization between 12 to 18. That when I got out the first time, I started working at a restaurant, right? Even though I said when I was 18, working as a waiter, I was actually working as a waiter for almost 5 years already at that point. And the people who I was working for, you know, there was underground gambling, you know, they was betting on the Raiders and the same restaurant, right? And pretty much you know, these people were making money, you know, gambling, underground gambling on sports betting, right? And we were selling cigarettes under the table to kids under 18. That was our big money right there. All the kids were smoking, right?
Yep.
You was a cool kid. You was smoking, right? Everybody was buying cigarettes. Oh, man, we can't go to the liquor store. We go to where Jason's working, and we'll buy cigarettes from him.
Yep.
So I was cutting off the top, you know. I got in trouble one time from the owners. They were like, they saw me stick money in my pocket, but I was like, no, you got your money. I'm just getting the extra money. And they were like, we don't care. If you make $10 off this pack of cigarette, we taking all of it, because this is our cigarettes, you know.
Yeah.
You can't make money off our money. I was like,
yeah. This is fucked up.
You know. It's like, damn, I got in trouble, you know, with the owners, and they had kicked me out of the restaurant for a hot minute. They said, you can't operate in here because we know what you're doing.
Oh shit.
You know, and I don't know what I was thinking that day, because she was there. I should have been more slick about it, but I was just so money hungry. I didn't put in protocols for myself, you know.
Yeah.
So we were selling paint thinners at the time to Latinos. Latinos really loved paint thinners for some reason. They would spray like paint thinners in a Coke bottle, right? And then they would pour it into a rag, and they would sniff the shit out of it.
Damn.
You know, and they got banned from like Walmart and anywhere that was selling paint thinners.
Oh shit.
So they was like looking at other people to buy it for them.
Damn, that's crazy, bro. I never heard of that. Like, what's the trip is for us? It was spray paint. They would lock up all the spray paint and shit. My homie grew up in Texas. He said that they wouldn't leave duct tape out because the people there would peel the little sticky pieces off and smoke it. And it would fucking just be zooted. I was like, for real? Like, so that's a
everything's a goddamn drug, right?
Yeah, right.
But the paint thinners, they love that shit.
Damn.
Yeah, man. And then shit, man. And then also not Advil, but it was like, I forgot what drug it was. It was like, I think either Tylenol or something, like Sudafed or some shit. I think it was Sudafed, and they was making meth out of that bitch.
Oh yeah. I've heard about that like a while back.
Yeah, but that was like the early version of fucking meth.
Yeah.
You know, the shit that fries your brain. Like today's meth, I think it's like whatever you see on fucking Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah.
You know, but and so that's what we were doing, make money, and we were just selling paint thinners to the Latinos that they wanted it, and it was mainly the gangsters that, you know, that wanted it, and we ended up getting that clientele because I was in the soccer team, and obviously in the soccer team we're gonna have Latinos in there.
Yeah.
And when we weren't doing practice, whatever, they were just sniffing fucking paint thinners.
Fuck. Damn.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
And so there was war on the streets, Brown Pride versus MS-13s, and man, it sucked because MS-13s were red, and Brown Pride were brown, right? And you knew who was different because the Latinos had the Chicano dress code, you know.
Oh yeah.
You know, that long little belt that hangs down, and got their little slick back with the lokes on, and the one button up.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah.
Then rocking them cholo things going, and then the Salvadorians, they just wore red, and it's confusing because we were like, are they Bloods? You know.
Oh yeah, were they? That's just the color.
That was just they were colors they would bang. You know?
Shit.
So. The next lyrics, I say Bloods try to take advantage and try to get us in between. When Cut got out, he tried to put an end to the war on the streets. The niggas couldn't fight. They put a bullet through his front door. His baby cousin got killed. She lay slumped up on the front porch. So one of the homies, again, Cut is just a generalized character, right? Part of the timeline. So one of the homies, he got locked up and he finally got out, and he just found out that there's a huge war on the streets of Fort Smith. Anybody who's my age will and can confirm it. And actually, from what I heard, the war's still going on.
Damn.
The war's still going on. It hasn't ended. It hasn't healed.
Fuck.
Yeah, the wars, and it's weird. Like the Latinos, the Mexicans, they still blame the Asians for one of their own getting shot in the head by an Asian blood. He's locked up right now. He was actually on the FBI most wanted list.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say his name because he was one of the homies, even though he was a blood. Because I grew up with him, you know, but we just banged two different sets, you know. That's all it was.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so they still blame us for that dude's death, and it was kind of messed up because we were kind of healing at the time because it was Mexicans were actually dating the Asians at the time, but that ended when, you know, the homie shot him in the head, and the Mexican in the head, and the Salvadorians took advantage of that, and the Bloods took advantage of that, and they said, you know, so they were able to convince all the Latinos to start fighting the Asians, you know, and saying, so, like, good thing, like, is the city of Fort Smith was mainly Crips, so a lot of the Crips banded together, so if you was banging Crip, whether you're black or Asian, we stood together, you know. But now it's a huge war, so if you're Asian, whether you blood, they don't know that. All they know is that you're Asian and you're walking the street alone, you're a target.
Yeah.
So kids can't even go out like how back in the 90s you could go on the streets, ride your bike and rollerblade and all that stuff. Now in Fort Smith, you get caught by the Latino community in Fort Smith, they're going to catch you, you know. And you don't know if they're Salvadorian. That's the problem. So, like, again, the Bloods took advantage of that.
Yeah. Damn. That's a trip. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Like, because my experience growing up here is, like, the Mexicans and Asians always got along.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, but it makes sense, you know, that this happens, that happens. It's like, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's rare to have an Asian blood in Fort Smith because the whole population over there are Crips. So if you're blood and you're Asian in Fort Smith, man, you're gonna have a tough time.
Active, yeah.
Yeah, tough time. You resign and go become a lawyer, a doctor, man. That's it. That is your only option, because you know you're not gonna transform and be a Crip, you know.
Right.
You know, so you know, then we go into the third verse. It said, it was that time. Cut said, put on that ski mask and ride. Them niggas gonna die tonight, even if I gotta die trying. They bang on the set. This is the shit they gonna regret. They kill my family, and we gonna make them repent. Blue flag representing, make them niggas bent. So pretty much, when the war kicked off, it was just how it was, you know. It was out. I remember, like, going down the street and the homies like, hey, pull over the car. There's, you know, a little Latino kid out there walking. I felt bad, like, fuck, man. They jumped the shit out of him. I knew he was just a regular school kid. He had his backpack on, but they were saying, we don't give a fuck. We're putting out a message. It doesn't matter. Everybody's getting it. And I was like, man, the war was intensifying. I feel like we were the one who started the war, to be honest. And I feel bad because I'll provide an explanation later, but I feel bad because at the time, I kind of saw that kid in me too when he was getting jumped. So when I was participating, I made sure I didn't hit him too hard, you know. But all the other dudes were fucking him up, you know. I was like, fuck, you know. So that's how it really went down, you know. The war was huge, man. Like, no one was safe, you know.
Yeah.
And so we went up to some dude's house. I mean, we burned down his house while his parents were in, type shit, you know.
Fuck.
That's how deep the war was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
So.
Fuck, dude.
That's, you know, again, Fort Smith don't play.
Yeah.
Man.
You
know.
Yeah, no, and was it like in the 90s?
This was like early 2000s.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dude, that's wild, man. Like, shit was just cracking off in the whole era, like, from fucking 90s up till, like, for me, it was like 2004 was, like, shit just changed for some reason. But, yeah, fuck, dude. That's crazy because shit was active as fuck out here, too. Like, especially National City. Like, fuck, dude. Late 90s, early thousands, it was, like, Molotov cocktail through your window. This is just fucking crazy. Like,
exactly how what you're saying, that's exactly what happened in Fort Smith. I don't even have to explain that story if you know. People, when I tell people, it's like, man, that happened to you too. I'm like, you too? What do you mean? Yeah.
No, see, that's what's crazy too, is like how you're explaining. It's like, because in San Diego, if you just visit, you're not gonna see gangsters or gangs or you know what I'm saying? It's like you have to go, like you got to be involved and know what the fuck is going on and know who's what and where who resides and all these things and what this street means and what the history and all this shit. And it's like, if you don't know that stuff, you're not gonna really encounter it. Like you might find somebody popping off at the beach or some shit, but like in general, it's like it's chilling, but it's active, it's real. That shit's been going, you know.
Yeah, so pretty much, and then we roll up to the folk neighborhoods and see them chilling, turn off the headlights, steady creeping, sneaking, and acting like villains. Pulled out the Glocks and started spraying. Bodies hit the floor shaking. Cut got shot 3 times and died on the way to Mercy Hospital while cripping. Again, Cut is just a character, you know. In this timeline right here that I'm discussing, I'm talking about the dude who got shot in the head. You know what I'm saying? You know, the homie came up. I think it was his birthday. It was like a celebration or some shit. You know, and my family members, you know, the gang, they all conspired to go get him. A lot of people went down, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, some people spent some time in jail, like 9-10 years. And then the other homie, obviously, who actually pulled the trigger, you know, he was on the run, you know?
Yeah.
And so, you know, I guess, you know, again, they were celebrating, and he rolled up on him, shot him in the head. He died, you know. It was crazy because the dude who died, he was dating a bunch of Crips, you know. So it was like, man,
Yeah.
you know, that's how the war, you know, the war was tough. And I remember the Salvadorians, they went into one of the restaurants where the Mexicans were at, and they just popped the dude in the head too.
Fuck.
All kids. They're not even, you know, they're not 20s, 19, you know, 19, whatever. They're all kids, you know, 17, 16 years old.
Damn. Yeah, that's unfortunate, man. Like, that's not having, making decisions like that affects the rest of your life in a real major way.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what it, you know, like for me, I feel like the fight was just unnecessary. I mean, don't get me wrong, I had, you know, when I was in my teenage years, I would bang on other people wearing red and shit. And I would always constantly get into fights. However, there was a point where I think I turned 17. And I said, man, this fighting stuff is retarded. But obviously I was getting bullied because I was a Crip, and all the Bloods, whenever they find me by myself, they always pulled up on me. So of course I would go a little bit more extreme than them and just go, you know, just get off on them. So, but even at that time, I was like, man, like I was just tired of fighting them all the time. So, I was more preoccupied making that money and trying to get out that city, because at the end of the day, I knew that city was gonna do 2 things to me: go to jail or die, because that's just how that city rides, you know.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, that's wild, bro. Fuck, man. That's some real ass shit, dude. Like, and it's I love that. As crazy as all that shit is, it's like you're able to be here today and tell the shit and look back and be like, damn, I feel bad about this or that, or it's just like being able to analyze it from a more mature standpoint, and like, but it's like what's real is real, you know what I'm saying? And it's like what our stories are is the shit that like really helps other people, because it's like whether it's as extreme or not for them, it's resonating in some fashion, because like everybody experiences pain and love and this, all these feelings and shit. So it's like it's crazy. Also, what's tripping me out is like when you just listen to that song, you're not expecting it to be that deep. Like you can't know it's that deep because it requires the story behind it. You know, it's like, and I love that it's like shit. Like Cutthroat is an idea of somebody. You know, it's like that's cool because you can like the way that you play that in and out to equal a whole description of something. It's like fuck. You're using like a couple words to sum up an entire fucking like multiple years worth of things in one thing. And I think to me, like I see that as a level of genius, because in the sense that like the famous Einstein quote, I always butcher it, but it's something along the lines of like, if you can't explain something in a way that like a little child will understand, then you don't really get it.
Yeah.
So like to me, people who can simplify all these, like can simplify complex things and say boom, boom, boom. Damn, anybody can understand that. Like that's some genius shit. And like that's why like when I first started listening to your music, I'm like, hold on a second. There's a lot of stuff I'm not understanding. And that's what like made me keep listening to the songs, because I'm like, well, what does that mean? Or what is that? Or what is that? And I'm like, it's taking my brain through all these different ways. Then when I hear you speak on it, I'm like, oh shit, this is way deeper than I was even considering it could have been.
Yeah.
You know, so like that's why I was like on the first podcast, I was like, dude, like you're a brilliant storyteller, like absolutely genius with it, because of the fucking depth and the simplicity of that depth.
Yeah.
So that's fucking cool, man. Like that's way cool.
Yeah, definitely. And when I'm discussing about the whole situation, that was just what was really kind of going down. Of course, I'm not gonna. Again, it's not everything I've done as a gangster in between the age of 12 and 18 in Fort Smith. Of course, I've done a lot more. However, those were the major events that kind of shaped me as a gangster and as a person. You know, when people say, "Oh, in hindsight, oh, you should have never been a gangster," I say, I feel like you don't understand the culture, because it's not that I didn't want to be a gangster. It's just that was the culture. Like, you didn't have a choice, you know, like I didn't have a car. I didn't have family members to drive me from point A to point B, ensure that I'm safe from that destination. You could be walking down the street and dogs running after you, you know, you're not from that hood and they're going to jump you, you know, even though you say, oh, I'm from this set. Oh, they're not going to, you know, they're not going to know. You're not going to know every gangster, you know?
Yeah.
And then from your set, some sets are really tight. But if you're like from one part of the town and all the other set, you know, members are within block radius of each other, yeah, that's different. But, you know, and then on top of that, it's not safe. Like, because I had to ride my bike everywhere. I had to walk everywhere. So I was always a target.
Yeah.
You know, I had to learn the back alleyways, because no one knows that back alleyway. But if somebody knew that I was going that route, I'm sure I would have got caught up there.
Yup. I could relate to that. Hella.
Yeah, right.
Hella, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Fuck, man. That's one thing too. It's like for me, when I first started this podcast, a lot of my like stories of like my crazy shit is a lot of the stuff I was sharing and stuff. And like one thing that I made sure I really like kept circling back on is that like I'm not a gangster. I never was, but I do understand the mentality, the operation, the code, all of that shit, and I respect it. And I take that for myself. Like, I'm my own gangster in my own version, right? Yeah. So, like, one thing, though, is that, like, why I never joined a gang was the exact same reason I respect gangs, is because it's a family. And it's like, if you don't understand that it's a family, you think it's just this wild thing of violence. It would be like, nah, that's not it. That would be like if you only zoomed in on a family, two, you know, a mom, a dad, the kids, and you only looked at them disciplining their kids. You'd be like, yo, you guys are wild. You guys fucking yell at kids and whatever. It's like, well, if that's the only thing you're fucking looking at, like, are we not going to talk about how much protection having a gang in your community that's a real gang provides? Yeah. Like, I tell people this all the time, especially when I talk to like older people who just have no idea. They're just like offended by the word gang, gangster, anything like it. I'm like, dude, you don't understand. You have no idea how many times you fucking went here to there and were protected. You don't even know. Did you even consider that? Do you have any idea who's looking after your fucking neighborhood? You're this, you're that. Like, why it's safe for you to do this and go here and go there. Like, you think shit's just that sweet everywhere? Like, yeah, you know? Nah, hell no. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's what I'm saying is like real gangsters, it's family. And it's like, in my experience growing up, all the Asian homies, like it was almost all Asian gangs that I grew up with. It was like, yo, it's out of protection. There's other motherfuckers bigger than us. We're fucking smaller. We don't even speak the language. Like, we need each other. And it's like, yo, that's how I feel when I'm with my fucking family. And it's like, if I wasn't able to speak the language or this or just whatever these factors, I would have absolutely been there. But it's like I had my ties already to where I came from. So it was like, if I didn't have that structure at my house, I would have absolutely, like, without a doubt, no question. And like, it's a family, and that's what people don't understand. And even modern day gangster who call themselves gangsters, it's like they don't get it. And that's one thing that bothers me a lot, and is that like there's no code and there's no honor and there's no loyalty in what I'm observing happening right now.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, you're putting on that hard for a color? What about the meaning? Why? It's like I see people just get excited. Oh, like because Crip, because blood. It's like, do you even know what that means? Like, why? You know, and it's like, what does that come with? And people just want to be cool and you know, status and all this shit. And it's like, that's not what it's about. It's about fucking, like what your music's about, fucking family and loyalty. And that's what I learned from gang culture. I get the other shit. I get all the bad parts and the stigma and why people have their view and their all of that. But really, it's like people need to understand that this code, this mentality, this way of operating in family is the shit that's like running our entire fucking city. It's the shit that's running all of our businesses. It's the shit that's running our governments. It's like that's the shit that you fucking go and vote on and act like it's this huge deal and all that. It's like, yo, this shit's real. It's everywhere. Like, and I don't fault people because if you're not from it, then you shouldn't get involved in it.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot to learn from it, regardless. So
yeah, and again, you know, like I said, like if you don't want your kids to join gangs, in my opinion, like establish a family code. You know, that you're gonna be there for your kid. If anybody messes with your kid, you're gonna protect them. You know, as if you were a gangster, if you were a gang member. I see a lot of families where, oh, my daughter's getting bullied, my son, I don't know what to do, you know, stuff like that. Then go whoops my ass. Like, what are you doing, man? I'm gonna call the cops. And, the school not doing nothing. Fuck the school. Go do something.
yeah,
Go catch their mom and dad's on the sideline. Be like, hey, man, your kids are acting weird. And if you don't do nothing about it right now, we're going to have a problem. And like a lot of people don't believe in that. Violence don't solve nothing. Bullshit. You ever get your ass whooped? I bet you don't do it again.
you're real shit.
You know, your feelings get hurt, but you're not going to do it again unless you're a gangster and you want to retaliate. That's a whole different story. But most gangsters don't, they understand the language. We're not Neanderthals, you know, we're not uncivil. We're civil. We know what's going on. But at the end of the day, it's like a lot of kids are committing suicide. A lot of adults are committing suicide because they lost their identity. And I feel like if you're not protecting your kids and from the beginning and allowing them to understand that, hey, this is family first, and I'm going to protect you with everything I got, and if something should happen to me, you're going to take the mantle, you know. And that's the same thing for gangs, you know. If one of the homies died, he was the leader of the group, you got to take the mantle. Just because the homie did don't mean the gang did, you know. You know, that's the whole reason, the whole premise was that we stick together so we can protect each other, so that way the dudes who are fucking with us don't get away with it, you know. And I guess you can almost say that the opposing gang is the bullies, but we're the bullies to the bullies, and the bullies are our bullies. So essentially, you know. But at the end of the day, man, like, you know, gangs were meant to protect each other because, again, most people in gangs are poor in the poverty state. No fathers, no mothers. And so when they're walking the street, they don't have their mom and dad to protect them, you know. You can't call. Back then, we didn't have a cell phone. You had to run to the store or something, corner store, and call from the payphone, right? Yeah. And a lot of people don't know what a payphone is today, so
or how to use it for free.
Right.
Da da da. Pick me up. Da da da.
Right.
Hey, this and that. Click.
Right. Exactly. You know. And so, you know, if you didn't have money, you was a target on the street. everybody was a target on the street. So if people knew you were in the gang, people would say, I don't fuck with him. He's from such and such gang. I recognize him. If we fuck with him, we're going to have to fuck with his gang. And if he recognized one of us, he's going to tell him. And then we're going to have this whole situation. That's what gangs were for back in the days. That was, again, it was protection for the people who didn't have protection. And you don't have a cop in your pocket. You like pull out a cop and be like, hey, officer, go get him.
Yeah.
You don't even have that, you know?
Yep.
And if you was a kid, 14, 15, you're not going to beat up like, you're not Batman, you know? You can't beat up 5 people.
Yeah.
I don't care how strong you think you are. You could be practicing Shaolin Kung Fu since you was 2 years old. You're not beating up 5 dudes.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yep.
I can testify to that, man. I got jumped plenty of times.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. Definitely. So, you know, with this, let's kind of switch this up a little bit. Let's let me see here. Well, okay. Let me see what's up. All right. Let's okay. Let's or is there anything else on the song you want to touch on, or
No, man. If we can reduce, maybe we can do another part 2 of this.
Yeah. All right, for sure. Cool. Okay. I was gonna say, yeah. All right, let's do that. Actually, how about just real quick, just to give the people just one more little thing. How did you link up with Bug Noi and Boo Boo 619 on like?
Okay, so with Bug Noi, it's a deeper story. So he was locked up. He got snitched on by one of his homies. Yeah, I mean, damn near day one.
Damn.
You know, there's Jen Gates. He's a Korean dude out of Philly. I don't know him personally. I only know him through his music and social media, right?
The old school rapper dude?
No, Jen Gates.
Oh, okay.
He's a Korean dude.
Oh, okay.
Big old dude. He probably my size a little bit bigger, but he's a rapper. He's an entrepreneur. He sells jewelry and he's a big time sports gambler. That's how he makes his money. He might do some other stuff. I don't know. I don't know him personally. I can't say much. But Bug Noi and Jen Gates were, you know, at the time, really good friends, brothers, damn near, right? I mean, they drove Ferraris. They was living the lifestyle a lot of people wanted.
Yeah.
And then Bug Noi gets arrested because one of the homies snitched, and someone PC'd up, and so Bug Noi had to do his time. And so I found out the whole situation because he's a Crip, and the homies were like, "Hey man, you heard Bug Noi's in jail? Woo-de-woo." I'm like, "Oh shit, let me see if we'll find out what's going on." And I found out that Bug Noi got snitched on. He was in jail, you know. So I've been following him since Instagram for a hot minute. He be posting up. Look, he had a phone. He was able to sneak in the phone in, and he was doing these little vlogs on his phone and just talking to us on Instagram and doing these little stupid videos, him talking to ducks. Later on, I find out that he didn't like talking to ducks. He was actually mad that he was talking to ducks. I'm not bullshitting. Can't make this shit up, bro. So he would make videos of themselves on the story on Instagram, telling him like, "Hey, what's up, duck?" Whoa. And then later on in interviews, he was telling Jen Gates, "You motherfucker, you had me talking to ducks." That shit was hilarious, man. I mean, it's hilarious to me, but Bug Noi, he hated it.
Yeah, no, I bet.
Yeah, so they ended up doing this huge fight. You know, you can look it up. Jen
Oh,
Gates.
I seen that.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, they ended up doing a fight, and obviously Bug Noi, had to handle his business.
Yep.
So, when I'm starting the album, I'm like, fuck, man. Now, really, a lot of Crips I want to make a song with. I said, you know what? I want to put, Bug Noi is already doing his own rap thing, so I reached out to him, say, hey, man, you want to do a song with me? I was on his Instagram live or something at one point, and I said, hey, man, you want to get a song? And then he said, yeah, just hit me up when you're ready. And so I was ready, and I hit him up. And then he was like, yeah, man, let me get on that feature. And he was like, all right, cool. And so that's how I got him on the feature. I had worked with his manager, Ray Velli. Shout out Ray Velli. And also shout out Bug Noi. And we were able to make a deal where he can come in, do the studio time, and do the music video with me, Bugnoy was a strange anomaly. So what happened was one of the homies, his name is K Hustle. Shout out K Hustle. Him and his homie, K Hustle, had introduced me to his producer, Sean Scope. Shout out to Scope. And I'm making this song, right? Scope introduced me to this beat, for like and I hear the beat. I had the hook ready. I had the verse ready, and I wanted to make the song, right? So one day I'm just like scrolling through my Instagram, looking for some, inspiration, trying to figure out some things. And then Boo Boo 619, shout out Boo Boo 619, and his shit pops up. I hear his song, it's just dope. It's that definitely West Coast flavor I was looking for. I hit him up. He's like, hey, bro, where you at? Oh, I'm in San Diego. I hit him on the DM, right? And he said, yeah, man, I'm a rapper. I'm trying to write this song here. Hey, you interested, hopping on this beat with me? He's like, yeah, shoot it to me, right? He doesn't record anything. And I said, hey, bro, I'm about to go to the studio on this day. You want to come, right? And come to find out that Boo Boo 619 and Sean Scope they know each other. They recorded before. I was like, oh shit, I didn't know you and Scope know each other. It's like, yeah, we go way back. I know K Hustle's uncle. His uncle knows my uncle, and we fuck with each other. Ooh. I was like, damn, man, small ass community.
Yeah.
I didn't know all of them knew each other like that. And so I reintroduced the beat again for like and then Boo Boo said, oh, I got the verse. I mean, not the verse, the hook. So he goes in, do the hook, knocks out the hook, and now I can, put in my verse in there. So now I have that, the hook in my verse. So I shoot it to Bugnoy. Bugnoy hears it. He says, oh, yeah, I'll have the song done in a month. Comes back and he says, you need to change your verse, buddy. Like, your shit amateur.
Oh, shit.
I got kind of offended. I was like, all right, cool. So I had to rewrite the song 3 more times.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so.
Damn.
So that song was written 4 times.
Wow.
Yeah, and then because K Hustle introduced me to the song, to Sean Scope. And Sean Scope and Everybody's Intertwined, I had actually put K Hustle on the song, but some things happened and K had to get removed from the song. But we have the song with him in it, which is going to be re-released as a remix soon.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I have a lot of songs that's ready to go for content-wise, right? Yeah. So his song's going to be out on a remix soon. So anyways, with that being said, I went in there for the 4th time, re-recorded it. Bugnoy didn't hear the final version until we did the music video.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and that was my first time meeting him at the music video. It was instant chemistry. It's like I met the man before. He met me before. We're all cool.
Yeah.
He's a family man. He's a Crip. He's a family man. He has 2 kids, another kid on the way.
Fuck yeah.
And he's doing his thing with the mob. That's his brand. Mine's a Billionaires. And he has grills. He does grills too. So he's part of the jewelry game. And he sells cannabis products too. Yeah. Here in California or wherever that's you can sell it at. So he's doing a lot of things as an entrepreneur, and he's also a rapper. Yeah. So yeah, man, he's doing great, man. And that's how we all came together, man. It was just, it's a small community. We all got brought in for some sort of reason. Yeah. And it's been good since. The song's the biggest hit on the album.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. That's cool. That's that song just goes. It's like that song, it's just got that like appeal where it just picks people up quickly. It's like, if people hear it, they're like, oh yeah, like everybody, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and people of all ages, like I'm always slapping your music, and it's like, whoever's next to me or whatever, it's like I catch them, and they could be whatever type of person. They're like feeling it. I'm like, oh, this is funny. I wouldn't expect this person to be vibing to this or something, Like, that's cool, man. No, that's tight though, because like I can't even imagine what other verses or what you were spitting on it before, like, because your verse goes so hard too. It's just like, it's just so just bam, like I can't even explain it. It's just hard. Like it's I don't know. It's cool as fuck.
Well, yeah. So like when Buck Noy challenged me to make a harder verse, right? And he trusted me to make that verse. Like he didn't care. All he wanted to do was that he didn't want the first verse, original verse. All he trusted was that I was gonna come in a little bit harder. And when he heard it, he looked at me. So that's the final verse, huh? It's like, yeah. He said that shit's dope. He said it's gonna go hard. He said I hope everything like what you want with this song is gonna work.
Yeah.
You know? And he blessed off on it. You know, and he's like, you know, he's putting his name out there, his credibility out there, and he said straight up to me, he said, I don't fuck with nobody I don't know. He said all the people on my songs, I know them, or they know somebody from my team, but like you, since you're not from my team, I don't really know you like that. He said I'm really putting a lot of my credibility out there for you, and he said, you know, when we got linked up, he's just like, yeah, you solid.
Fuck yeah. That's tight, man. That's cool. I love when shit works out like that. It's like, that's the best case scenario, you know, like, that's fucking cool, man. Damn, yeah, so I was gonna say, let's, yeah, that's cool. Is there anything else you want to say about that song, or about the coming together of it or anything?
No, man, it was just magic, bro. They came on the same day as scheduled. There was no hiccup on the schedule. Everybody did what he was supposed to do. You know, Boo Boo 619, he did what he was supposed to do. Bug Noy did what he did. He came through. He didn't flake on me. Trust me, a lot of artists will flake on you.
Yeah.
They'll take your money and not give you your product.
Mm-hmm.
He came in like a businessman. And for that, I can trust him with future transactions.
Mm-hmm. I like that, man. That's cool. That's so important. Like, trust. That's the biggest thing, you know, like, yeah, that's really how the magic gets made, you know? And it's funny too, from that song in Buck's line, my kids, they're always walking around going, what's that smell? Smells like money on me. They're always walking around saying that. I'm like, you guys, like, what the fuck?
It's hilarious.
Yeah, that was funny, man. That's cool. Yeah, let's break down the rest of these songs in a part 2 of this one. Because each one's so fucking deep, dude. And like, that's why I wanted to break this down. And it's like, there's so much depth to each one. Like, I think that's so dope, dude. So to kind of like circle back, one of my favorite things to talk to you about is family. Just because I like the way you do it, I like the way you represent it, and you have a particular like flavor to it and your own style to it and your own definition of what it means to you. So like it's like we had mentioned family code. Like speak on that. Whatever comes up for you, you know?
Yeah, so it goes back to, you know, not having a family. It goes back to, you know, being that poor kid walking down the street. And when you look at, like, you know, other family members, like from your friends or from your classmates, and everybody's getting picked up from school, and then, you know, you're just you and your friends walking down the streets together, protecting each other, you know, from adversaries, man. The streets is crazy, you know. You know, it could be dogs, it could be cats, it could be fucking, you know, crazy old dudes with a stick, you know, racist old white dudes with shotguns. Say, get off my lawn before I shoot you. And they be really popping off.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had an old racist white dude pull a shotgun on me and my homie Puff when we were in 3rd grade.
I'm telling you, these stories aren't
real
fake,
shit.
man.
Yeah, no, I know.
You can relate. You know, I'm not from where you're from, but it's the same story everywhere else.
Everywhere. Yeah, absolutely.
It's crazy.
Yep.
You know, it's like, it's funny. I don't even know you like that, and me and you already share a similar story. It's a real shit, man.
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
You know, and then just having to struggle, you know, trying to figure out your father figure and a brother figure and, you know, a sister figure and motherly figure, you know. I have so many mothers and playing mothers in my life, like, and it offends my biological mother, to tell her like, yeah, I got all these. I call her mom. You know, she was like, but I'm your real mom. I was like, but you wasn't there for my, you know. And they said, you got a real dad. I was like, yeah, but he wasn't there either. Yeah, I don't remember one life lesson he gave me. You know, how to survive the streets and stuff like that. All I remember is he might have picked me up a few times when I was a baby. That's all I remember. Yeah. But like life stories that, you know, skills to help me on the streets survive. He ain't never taught me anything like that. Yeah. You know, like
not directly, anyways.
Yeah, right.
You know, it's like his absence seemingly taught you all of this.
Yeah. So, and you know, so. Essentially, so I, those are the codes I learned was that, you know, being in gang, I got to share some, like, not all gang members aren't, you know, fatherless and motherless. A lot of them actually do have mothers and fathers. And what's great about their mothers and fathers is that they were welcoming of us as a gang. They were like, hey, come eat at our house. Come, you know, watch TV, you know, stay on our couch, woo-de-woo. And we felt the love from that, you know. So we know what family looks like. Again, we're not uncivilized. We're not savages, you know. Yeah. We just kids trying to figure things out too. And because we're in the gang, we get to share some of that that loyalty from other families, you know. Even though they know we out there either slanging or banging, robbing or stealing or doing things that we're not supposed to, but they understood their assignment, and that's where I learned like that family code, that loyalty. You know, we know that shit's going down. We don't accept it, but hey, it is what it is. You know, y'all protecting each other because we can't protect you on the street. Y'all protecting each other on the street. Yep. They see us wear blue. They see us wear the bandanas. They've got the bandanas going on. You know, at the time we had big old jeans on. We was just, you know, big old shirts. They knew whenever they saw the new Ralph Lauren on our backs and the Tommy Hilfigers and the Nauticas and, you know what I'm saying, and the Adidas, and they know they didn't buy it. Yeah. Where'd you get them clothes, boy? Right. We didn't buy it for you. You know, and my uncle be looking at me, he's like, we know we didn't buy that shit. Where you get that from, you know? Yeah. It is what it is. They understood. Yeah. We gangsters.
I feel that. It's interesting as you're describing that, like, the house, the family you just described was my house. Yeah. Like, that was my family. It was like, yo, as long as you come with respect, you're welcome. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, just, that's it. There's come with respect. It's all good. Like, you know, you're looking out for each other. That's exactly that, man. We would
have like 30, 40 teenagers wearing blue, wearing Tommy Hill, Ralph Lauren, Calvin Klein, the latest cologne, you know, and slick back hair, you know, glasses. You know, we riding every time we go to somebody's, you know, house. It would be 30, 40 of us every time. Yep. They knew what's going on. They wasn't, you know. Yeah. You know, that was gang life for us. And they knew we was banging. We knew we was going to juvie and stuff like that. And obviously some of the family members, please stop being a gangster, blah, blah, blah. Please go to, you know. And we did. I feel like most of us did okay in school. We weren't like the dumbest kids. I graduated high school. Yeah. All my friends graduated high school. There was a couple of gangsters, you know, that didn't make it. They went to GED route. My cousin, he never graduated, but he's doing okay for himself. You know, he's an entrepreneur. If you understand what I mean. Yeah. He's an entrepreneur. But with that being said, it's like. That was us, man. Every house we went to, 30, 40 kids. Every time when we go to parties, and we was the ones, it was us. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, when we go to clubs, and by the way, that's how powerful our gang was at the time. We was going in clubs at age 13, 14 years old, kids. Fuck. In clubs. Yeah. And no one could say nothing to us because we would fuck this shit up. Yeah. The club owners had no choice but to let us in. Yeah. You know, and there was one time, I know BS, we fought a whole bunch of old people, like 100 old dudes. Fuck. It was like 40, 50, no, and it was not only that, I think we brought in like at least 150 teenagers. Damn. To fight old dudes. Not that we wanted to, it's the old dudes just got offended for whatever reason, and it was wild. It was a wild fight. Yeah, but that was our life as teenagers. We was, You know, that's how Fort Smith was. I feel like it still is. Like, I haven't visited, but from the stories the homies are telling me, it's still like that. You're going to get 50, 60 kids at either spot. It doesn't matter. If they roll through, that's how many people is going to be at that spot.
Damn.
Each time.
Yeah. Fuck, that's crazy. That's a trip to hear that, because, like, I can think back, and there was a time here where shit was like, where you would see that, you know what I'm saying? But like whatever happens societally here, it just doesn't happen anymore. Like, well, plus too, it's like when they went hard on gang injunctions in the early thousands here, and like a gang of homies, or even like people who were family members. It's like I had homies who were in gangs and they were cousins, and they weren't allowed to be within a certain radius of each other. So it's like one homie had to move to Oklahoma, another to fucking Kansas. And it's like, I was like, yo, what the fuck? I didn't even know there was Asian gangsters in anywhere other than California or and shit, like for the longest time. Until like some of the homies got shipped here, shipped there. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like, this is wild, dude. Like,
I know where the shift came from. It was the introduction of guns. When people were, now strapping up, not that we was fighting with our hands back in the days.
Yeah.
The hands, that's all you had. You got jump. You live another day to get that ass whooping, right? Mm-hmm. The most damage we ever had was maybe throwing trash cans at each other, maybe picking up a piece of stick that was on the ground and smacking the shit out of your fucking head or something. We never picked up a brick, obviously. Ain't trying to kill you. Yeah. We never used bats. I don't recall using bats. The Latinos always carried a knife.
Yep.
But as for the Asians, we always threw hands. And then it wasn't the introduction of guns when everybody had guns. Even the blacks didn't even have. I mean, they had guns, but I feel like they only use guns when the other gang used guns, and they had to retaliate on them that, or maybe a trap house got robbed. Is mainly the trap house get robbed, and that's when they use guns. But robbing a convenience store or something like that. But like amongst gangsters, oh man, when motherfuckers was starting getting shot up, it was brand new to us.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Now that you're saying that, so many things are like clicking back into my head. Like I remember, like in Mira Mesa, it's like on Mira Mesa Boulevard, we call it the Bully. Like on one of the main intersections, it was just like it shit turned into war. It was just like a fucking intersection, and it's like people were just getting popped everywhere, just pop, and it was like ordinarily they would have fucking went and took it behind the movie theater and just squared up, but instead it's like they just started shooting, and that you're right, that was exactly it. It's like boom, and then it was like, shit got crazy. It was like my best friend Pablo, rest in peace, he got shot in Little Italy right over here. Over $20 a weed that wasn't even his. Yeah. And it was like shit was going wild, and that was in 2006. Like damn, it was like his homie bought some weed. He said, I didn't like it. He threw it back in the car. They fucking picked up another homie, came by, fucking hit my homie in the throat. He bled out in the street for 45 minutes and then passed away when the ambulance got there. And like, it's fucking crazy, dude. Like, that's exactly it. Like, as soon as people started getting scared, and like, I can see the internet had a lot to do with this too. Because I remember back when like AOL chat or AIM, Instant Messenger, that shit came and people thought like shit was sweet. Oh, it was just the internet. Yeah. So my best friend's mom died. She was like my second mom. And we were 15 and like 10th grade, 11th grade, something like that. And homie's mom died. And some fool from school started talking shit and disrespecting his mom that just died like a couple days ago. Yeah. And we were like, what the fuck? Oh, hey, okay. Yeah. like, okay. And we caught this fool. This fool got beat up like fucking on three different occasions by like different groups of the homies and shit. Just like, just catching him slipping, And it was like there was a switch where all of a sudden people could like start talking shit. And then the people was like, well, fuck, he's not going to show up to fight me. And that's like one element of it. And then like, it's a trip how I can like thinking back, technology kind of like push shit that way. Yeah.
No, and then just the fact that the internet glorified gun violence. always like the new gun violence. Like now you see all the music videos, everybody has a gun.
Yeah.
Everybody's showing off their rifles, their Glocks, their SIGs. You know, I'm gonna pop you, I'm gonna shoot you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, even my lyrics have that. You know, I tell people like, hey, it's gonna happen. You mess with my family, and the only reason why I say that is just because that's the culture now, man. Like, people is gonna pop you now these days. You can't square up like how you used to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, no matter how much we want to go back to the old school ways, it's never gonna come back. The new school way, it's you got to protect yourself at all times. And when Asian hate happens, and you see all these Asian people getting beat up, shot up, you know, getting killed, and people say, "Oh, where's the help? What's the help?" All these people are scared. They want to square up. Like, dude, you're fighting in modern. Hey, it's the modern times. You need modern solutions, you know, and you got to strap up. I'm sorry, it is what it is. Oh, but you're not going to tell an old person to get a gun and go shoot. Then watch them die. Then continue watching. I don't know how many more people needed to die in order for you to understand that this is the culture now. Everybody got a gun. It is your Second Amendment right, and you got to go get yourself a gun. It is what it is. The criminals don't care.
Yep.
You don't have a gun. They don't care what the law is.
Yep.
They'll use a burner and do what they need to do with it, and then toss the gun away.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yep.
All they got to do is dig a hole and throw the fucking gun in there, and you'll never find that gun again.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what it is. Ever since, you know, guns were introduced to the streets, that's what turned the now, like back then you could have like a 50 group member gang back then, because everybody's going to throw hands. People lived to see another day.
Yeah.
Now you see gangs today. The most numbers of gang members you have in your gang, I shit you not, is 7 people.
Fuck.
You can call yourself a Crip from 50th Street, right? But in that gang, literally only 7 people.
Yeah.
If you go to if you go to not Slauson, but if you go down to like in Mira Mesa, where supposedly the Asian Crips are at, you might see some OGs there, but their current membership probably no more than 5.
Yeah. It's
it's very low. But all 5
Yeah.
members have handguns.
Yeah.
All 5 of them.
Yeah.
That's different though, and you can't. You know how hard it is to recruit new members into your gang. You try to say, "Oh, you want to be part of the gang? You got to have a gun now."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't just get regularly jumped in. Or you got to, now here's your gun, go shoot somebody. You know how hard it is to recruit somebody like that?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's too much for what you're getting out of it, and it's just a different world now, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
So like back in the days when you're getting jumped in, it's 10 dudes but you're getting punched in. You're not getting shot. You have to shoot somebody to get in.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, no, I remember it's like like people getting jumped in was such a normal thing at school. It's like, all right, watch the bathroom door, like,
Yeah.
all right, fuck. You know, it's like that shit was so normal, and like there was a respect about it. You know, and it's like I guess people who don't get it, that's fine, but it's like that is real. You know what I'm saying? There's respect and an honor, and after that, everybody fucking picks you up, gives you a fucking hug. It's like, all right, what's up? You know, like,
Yeah, now you down, you know?
yeah, it's like not, yeah.
Yeah, so when it comes down to like the family code, you know, bring it back with the family code thing, is that we have that loyalty. You got to have that loyalty. So everything again, when we was kids, you know, wherever you went, your gang was with you, and then also that you were able to go see, you know, other family members. So with my family now, I try not to shy them away from like other gang members' families, you know, even though they're not from my set. But a lot of gangs have the same sort of kind of code, you know. We're not savages, we're not uncivilized. We join because we need that protection, you know, from that community, you know what I'm saying? And so I teach my son, actually, believe it or not, my son and daughter is the most popular kids in school, you know, because I'm teaching them the codes, you know what I'm saying? I told him how to turn a bully into into an ally. I was like, he's like, hey, one day he comes up to me and he's like, hey, I said, hey, son, you got a bully in school? He goes, yeah, I got this one kid he keeps messing with me. And he's like, you keep pushing him down when you're out there and they keep making fun of him. I said, oh, yeah, really? I said, you know what? Next time you see him, how about this? You ask him, how's his life at home? If he's getting, mistreated at home, woo, right? And then, because I know a lot of kids that bullies typically have a bad home.
Yeah.
And I told him, you're gonna attack him on the emotional side, and then you're gonna pull him in and have him join your group of friends. So right now, my son, I'm not saying he's a leader in his group, but he has a lot of his friends buy him candy, ice cream. They give him like expensive like birthday gifts, and I was like, boy, it's like sheesh. He turned the bully into one of his allies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's some gangster shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, bro, fuck yeah. I love that, dude. That's so deep. Like that, it's so I can't. It blows my mind when you share certain stories, because I'm like, no, that was my story, love this or that. But I had such a thing with my oldest son too. It's just like it was just getting to the root of what it is. Like, yo, all right, I understand this, and this, but it's like, how are you showing up when this is what cracks off or this or that? And it's like, all right, take responsibility for yourself first, check yourself, boom, now it's like get to work on the other side of it. And like, yeah. And I was like, yo, we got out of this whole bullying situation in like 2 weeks, a week and a half, if even that. And it was like an ongoing thing for a long ass time. So like there's something so real that works about having that level of like authenticity and discipline to like not just fucking throw your emotions out the window or whatever and just keep yourself intact and be like, okay, how's this and that?
Yeah.
Like,
And so that's the thing, the gang fights and stuff like that, again, I feel like that happens on the streets because like you're a target. But here, with all the lessons learned, I feel like you're a real gangster when you can turn those lessons into valuable methods. Right, methods, right? That's gonna provide, turn it into a skill. Make a method to a skill. And so, like, I'm teaching my son how to, be a leader within himself. Teaching how to be open-minded, and then also like be a great communicator amongst his friends. So a lot of his friends, and there's not a lot of Asian kids in his school, and it's a lot of Latinos, but a lot of they play with him, and which is cool. He's a lot different from a lot of them, but they all respect him. Because I told him, it's like, hey, just because you're more wealthier than them, or you have better clothes than them, a better haircut than them, and you're a lot happier than them, don't mean you can treat them different or treat them less. If anything, bring them up with you. Because I told him, my wife's like, oh, if we got this money, how come we don't live over here? Because I said, those kids over there, they're not gonna, it's a competition to them. It's like, who has the most cash, who has the most everything, right? But where we're at, I said, these kids don't have everything. I said, these kids that are with him, he's gonna grow up with them. And same thing that I had when I was growing up, having 40, 50 friends growing up. Not just friends, but, members, what I'm saying, gang members. And those were my best days of my life, my worst and also best days of my life. The worst part is seeing motherfuckers die. The best part was going to parties together, having each other's back, going out of town together, and, stuff like that. A lot of people in today's world, today's adults can't even do that right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many times you get invited to a party right now as an adult? 0. You have to go to a party. You got to go to a club to party now as an adult. If you do go out, you probably the old homie who has nothing going on is like, hey, let's go to the club, man, let's go. Or maybe another couple that loves going out clubbing and bar hopping, but they really don't have a responsibility at home. They don't have kids or something. Or if they do have kids, they're old enough to watch themselves.
Right.
Yeah, but most successful people, like, you know, like you and me, like, we don't have that as much as an adult unless you're getting invited out by something, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really think about it.
Yeah.
But, you know, so I remember having that community of people that you grow up with. I want my son to have that same community. So when he goes to junior high, he has the same people that he grew up in elementary school, bring them up together. And then when they go to high school together, whether they go to the same high school or not, I know there's a lot of high schools here in San Diego. So, but if they somehow do decide to stay together, they'll stay together. If one dude splits off but end up coming back, at least he can come back to that same crew, you know. And that's what it is at the end of the day. And I want my son to have, you know, 40, 50 friends growing up and be in high school and just have each other's back like that. And if, you know, if gang things happen. But at the end of the day, it's just, you know, since I'm there as a father figure with all this knowledge and experience on the streets and also on the professional side, I can now lead my son into, if he somehow ends up in a gang, I can guide him a lot better than kids without father figures, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, at least I can guide them and say, all right, hey, you know, if you are going to join, you know, or if you decide you want to be a part of that, I'm just letting you know there's rules you got to follow with them and you got to follow with me. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, it's like, you got money, you don't have to rob motherfuckers. You don't need a slang to get something, you know. That'll be one of the codes. Since I know how to make money, I can show you how to make money, but you're not going to participate in any useless crime. I feel like if you got to rob somebody, you have to be at the lowest.
Yeah.
But if you're going to rob somebody, rob them ethically. I don't want you to traumatize them and make them be, you know, there's a lot of parents that get killed and while they're getting robbed, right? Now you destroy the entire family. Now a whole generation got to go through pain because you decided to take a life when you could have just took their purse, their wallet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now you cause a whole nother generation to suffer. You know, I feel like if you're going to rob a store, don't shoot the cashier. He ain't got nothing to do with it. Just take what you need and go.
Yeah.
Like, dudes who out there killing people for no reason, that's like a whole different level of psychopath shit. And I feel like, and it's, oh, we gang. I feel like that's not gang, though. Killing people, civilians, is not gang.
Yep.
If you was really gang, you go rob a trap house.
Yeah.
You know, that's gang. That you want to be gang, right? But that's just my philosophy, though. Like, not everybody, you know, resonates with that philosophy. It makes sense, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm not saying a lot of gangsters are highly intelligent. But when I talk to them about this situation, it goes from one ear and leaves the other ear because all they know is quick cash, and they don't care if they go to jail for. To them, they already gave up on life.
Yeah.
In my opinion, some of them already gave up on life, and they're willing to risk their own life to go to jail for life, because they gave up on life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man, totally. Dude, like, hearing you explain all that, it reminds me, like, there was a point where my oldest son, who's 18, when he was, like, 15? He was, like, 15. And he was, like, having conversations with people online about drugs and sex and all this, like, just all this shit, right? And I was like, all right, what am I doing that has him curious about this in this way or something? I'm like, all right, well, hold up. So I break it down. I'm like, well, shit, we got to the root of it. He told me the whole truth about it. He's like, dude, really? I was just curious. And it kind of went too far. This girl's like really some drug addict, and I was just curious about shit. And I was like, all right, for sure. Like, well, you know what? I'm going to teach you what that lifestyle is like. And if you want to live that lifestyle, know everything the fuck about it and be the best that you can at it. If you want to go be a fucking crackhead, I'm not here to force you to do this or that. I recommend you don't. But if that's what you're going to be, fucking go for it. That's, you know what I'm saying? It's like, same thing if you want to be a gangster, you want to be a fucking nerd, a businessman, or whatever the fuck, cool. But know what the fuck you're doing and pick that shit on your own, with your own consciousness. So it's like, I took him up to Skid Row in LA, and that shit is not safe. And we fucking walked that shit. And it's like, dude, I had to fucking just gather up every fucking just piece of me as a man and just gangster the fuck up and say, you know what? Stay in my bubble. Here's a knife. If shit cracks off, just fucking follow me. And like, so we fucking just walked it, and we walked it. We seen fucking what he thought was dead people. We seen women shitting in the streets. We seen fucking people running around naked. We seen people with needles, this, that, fucking everything.
Yeah.
All this shit. We go and we talk to like the king of the block. His name was King James, and he got the biggest property in Skid Row. He's got a fucking petting zoo. He's got a fucking disco, like, on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And like, we stop, and he just like, I don't know, it's just like one of these things, like God just intervened, is like, for whatever reason, we happen to stop, look at each other, and then we just started talking, and it was like, and he just started lacing us up, and he's like, yo, this is the real life, what it's like. And he starts telling my son, yo, every day, or not every day, but at least 5 people jump out of this window and splatter right there on the floor.
Yeah.
Every week. And he's like, yo, this isn't the lifestyle you want to go live. But dude, if you're trying to live this lifestyle, I got a spot for you right there. You make your choice. Your dad's trying to show you what's up, so it's up to you. And from there, like, he was just like, oh shit, like, all right. And I was like, bro, that's just the reality. If you want to get into drugs and all this stupid shit, that's the end of the road. There's a long way till you get there, but that's the end of the road. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're going to do that, go for it. Yeah. But at the same time, there's all these other fucking things we could do. We can make money. We can help people. We can create fucking life and love and all this shit, you know? Like, it's crazy that we really do have this choice. And I think what I get from how you explain, like, yo, like gangster mentality, it's like, that is gangster mentality, is to have the choice and to do that shit. And it's like, all right, well, it just so happened that was the circumstance you needed to have your protection, how you found family, all that shit. That it's just perfect. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, it's ultimately, and the same way I didn't join a gang, but we come here and have this common understanding. And it's like love, respect, loyalty. And it's like, I'll fucking ride and die for that shit to the end. I don't care what, you know? And like, that is the point of like us being great fathers for our kids.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like when other people observe this, it's like oftentimes people just are staring at me, interacting with my kids. They don't know how to take it. They're like, I don't even know what I'm looking at right now. Yeah. And I'm just like, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not trying to do this or that. It's just like, no, it's authentic. And like, I look at that and like, that's one thing I thought was so cool about meeting your family at the performance was like, the way that you guys interact is like so similar to the way that like me and my family interact. Yeah. And it's like, I hear like your family joking with you and this and that. And it's like, oh, you're so gay. And you're like, man, I put the G in LGBT or whatever. Yeah, you know, it's like, it's funny because like my family's always calling me gay and shit too. It's just, it's just funny. You know, it's like, but that dynamic, that freedom, like people wish they could just fucking have that, you know, and like they don't know how to create it. Yep. And I think, yo, when you're loyal to yourself, you don't care what anybody else thinks because you know what the fuck you're doing and where you're going and what your family stands for. You know your code, and it's like you can judge us however the fuck you want. Go for it. That doesn't help anybody. Yep. You know, like unless you're learning from that judgment. So like, I think it's so dope, and I recognize that you walk with that and you carry that, and I think that's a big part of like where the respect that we have between us comes from is like, all right, I get that, you know, like that's cool. And like, you know, oh, and I guess just the documents kind of, well, I guess it's not random, but like initially you were going to charge me to do an interview with you. Can I ask why you didn't?
The reason why I didn't do it is because, I feel that some people trying to take clout for, and try to, what should we call it? It's a business. Everything's a business, right? Everything's a transaction. And some people just like, oh, I really want to do so that I can get some clout out of him and make and just boost me up and not give him anything back to him, right? But then when I heard you like, hey man, I'm really doing this, you know, just because I want to stay real. When I first heard, it's like, you know, I want to have authentic, discussions, unfiltered. I like unfiltered. When I heard that, I was like, okay, we're not doing anything scripted. I can't do anything scripted where you control the narrative. I don't like that. You know, it's like I read a lot of podcasts or watch a lot of podcasts where a lot of dudes are trying to make the other person look stupid, and so they can boost up their ego. And I was like, if that had, I let everybody know if somebody trying to pull that and you in front of me, then this headphone coming off and you getting your ass whooped.
Right.
And that's I stand on G code on that. And if you trying to make me look stupid, so you can boost your ego and say, why you think like that? Why you talk like that? And you all right, cool. Let's handle it right now. Don't think this microphone gonna save you.
Right. Yep.
You ain't got a cop in your back waiting for you. You're gonna catch these hands.
Yep.
You know, and just because you were like that, and you said your all your podcasts, all your material is unfiltered, unscripted, being real. I heard you speak. It resonated with me. And that's why I didn't say, I don't want to charge them for anything.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. No, I appreciate that, man. And I appreciate the honesty and the openness on it. And it's like, that's cool as fuck. And I think us capturing this right now on tape, because that's not something we really even talked about before. So, like, I think that's dope. And it's like, whether we're aware or not, or we care or not, it's like, this is leaving a blueprint for how to, like, be a real motherfucker and connect with people. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, like, you can be a fan of somebody's work and what they're doing and not be a fucking groupie or a weirdo or over the top or like be an ass kisser or anything like that. Like, for me, it's like, in my podcast and whatever, on my Instagram, whatever, I share your shit, I bring you up a lot, whatever, but that's just what's real for me and what I'm doing. And it's like, I don't even care if you hear it or not, or if you acknowledge it or whatever. It's my fucking shit I'm talking about, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
So, like, and that's the thing is, like, dude, it's like, I'm not gonna, just because I like all your work, I'm not gonna kiss your ass or whatever, you know? It's like, nah, like, what the fuck? I can enjoy and appreciate what you do with respect. And it's like, if you don't show that back, cool. Like, I'm in the same place I was in the first place, right? Like,
definitely. Yeah.
So, like, I think it's dope that, like, right now we're, like, you and I right now are being the example of, like, living lives that were felt impossible to get out of certain situations or scenarios, and it felt like impossible. Like, when I was 16, I found myself standing in the mirror with a gun in my head. And I'm like, dude, I know what the fucking bottom is like, you know? And like, I think that with your story, with my story, with how we're meeting here, it shows that, like, dude, whatever the fuck anybody who's listening is going through, keep going. Just keep fucking going. That's it. Like, this shit will come full circle if we allow it to.
Yeah. You
know, and it's like to have some faith. And it's like, that doesn't even have to be tied to God or religion or anything. It's just for anybody. If it's like, if you could just fucking participate in some faith in yourself and life and nature, etc. You know, if you can use it with God and anything else, cool. That's only going to help. And like, I think it's important that real motherfuckers have real conversations and share real stories, because a lot of people with not as crazy life story feel like their shit's 100 times harder or crazier than shit we had to go through, which might actually even be crazier. But regardless, suffering is suffering, and everybody has experienced it or experiences it or will experience it. And it's like, how can we move through it with emotional intelligence, mindfulness, faith, belief in ourselves? And it's like, at this point, I don't even know why I believe in myself still. You know, it's like I catch myself in instances like, why do I even believe in myself still? I can collect all this evidence as to why I shouldn't believe in myself, but then I could equally collect just as much as to why I should. And if that's the case, I might as well just believe in myself.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and I think that's dope with your music, with everything that you're doing. You're putting yourself out there. And that's like, and it's interesting because to see the comments on all of your stuff now versus what, a month and a half ago?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, you guys are talking up to the same person? Like, yo, like, you know what I mean? It's like, now it's all fire emojis and all this shit on your thing. And before it's like, yo, quit, da-da-da. There was some dude, I was like, this is before I even met you, but there was some dude, he commented on one of your posts, and I was like, this is literally the gayest shit I've ever heard in my life. But it was something along the lines of like, this dude was like, okay, Jason, you are a 40-year-old man and da-da-da, go back to being a family. And it was just some weird shit. I'm like, yo, like, how do you even think of this shit? Like, how are you so weird that you're going to paint the whole picture of somebody you've never met and say, that's who you are and that's what you do? And it's like, bro, like, what kind of weirdo shit are you doing? Like, you realize everybody can see that, right? Like,
I feel like there's so much negativity in people's lives, right? And because I try to focus on positive stuff, but I feel like a lot of people that lives in the negative world, and in their world, I'm not talking about in the internet, in their world, is that they want to, again, that whole bullying thing. People feel like because they're not part of anything, they feel like they're being bullied because they're not part of anything. Does that make sense?
Ooh, yeah.
Right? Like let's say
absolutely,
you work at McDonald's or Walmart. Yeah, you go to work every day. You're being told what to do. You got maybe a few coworker friends, and then you get off work. You may have one or two friends that you may associate or drink with. But once you go back to your home and you're to yourself again, you're not part of anything. You're just like, all right, cool. Now next day, it's the whole situation with Fight Club. You want to know why Fight Club was powerful at the time and still powerful? Why you think there's more? Actually, believe it or not, there's more underground fighting. Go to YouTube right now. There's a whole bunch of underground fighting organizations right now. Yeah. And that's their own versions of fight clubs, right? Mm-hmm. But a lot of people, and believe it or not, whether you think or not, that's actually a gang.
Yeah.
There's actually new types of gangs are coming up where, pay this $300, $1,000 a month subscription to be part of the Grims, or be part of this brotherhood for male, like alpha male leadership and all this stuff, right?
Bro, that's a good point.
Those are the new gangs of male leadership today. They're no longer Crips and Bloods. You know, Crips and Bloods is actually a cultural thing now, believe it or not. So if you actually a Crip and you go to a form, like you go to Slauson, you go to Compton, you go, anywhere, East LA, whatever, and you say, you're a Crip, you actually belong to that culture. It's not even a gang anymore. Right?
Yeah.
Because gangs, if you're a Crip out here or anywhere else, it's really a culture now. It's no longer you go and jump into a gang. You're born into a gang, believe it or not. If you're a Crip and you're born into it now. Yeah. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, because it's like it's not active the same way it was to where you even are gonna get jumped in. It's just you're just born in now.
Yeah, like, now you're born in it. You're part of that's your neighborhood. Not, it's like you being born black, being born Latino, Asian, white, whatever. Like being now today's new gangs, like in Crip, you're born into it now. Mm-hmm. Your dad's a Crip, and then you're a Crip. Yep. If they're banging that hard, if that family's banging that hard, and. Trust me, I have a lot of gang members, friends, that their kids are born and he's dressing him blue. He's, gang, da-da-da. He's a Crip. And then I watch, as soon as he turn 8 or 9, he say, what up, cuz? Yep. Because that's daddy saying cuz. Yeah. And then all of a sudden he's a Crip. Yep. Or Blood. What's up, Blood? Yeah. So that's how it is. You're born into the culture now. Because the gang language is so strong. It's its own language. You know that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
When Crip families are talking, it's its own language. It's its own language. When Bloods are talking to, that's how they talking. And and Hoovers, the way they talk, BDs and GDs. Why GDs and BDs are so strong? They should have been died off. Yeah. But because their culture is so strong, they're born into it. Their next kid, their next generation, when they're born, they're BD, they're GD. Yeah. But if you're talking about new modern gangs, the fight clubs are the modern gangs now. They're getting jumped in. Yeah. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, that's a new gang. Believe it or not, they're a community. They don't.
That makes a lot of sense.
You know, alpha male groups, female alpha groups. They're all gangs, but they're paying for it. No, it's a new gang initiation. Is you pay for to be in that group.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. It just absolutely that's just wild, dude.
Yeah, look at the rate of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu membership. It went up almost 1,000%.
Yeah,
look at it. Like look at all the new membership of BJJ. Look up all the new membership for karate, was whatever, like major like fighting sports. It increased like stupid. Everybody's a fighter now because they want to be part of that group.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, exactly. Because that's so crazy. This is tripping me out. Like, no, you're absolutely right though. It's like, because it's like, why do you join a gang in the first place? Well, I was afraid of this or that. I need the protection. All right, well, why do you need to learn to go fight now? Well, because this fucking dude who weighs 100 pounds can fucking lock my arm up now, and like, I ain't trying to have that shit. Like, you know, it's like, now I'm gonna go get protection. Like, damn, bro, it's exactly the same thing. And then it's like, even in more like hippie nature kind of communities, it's like the same thing is happening. But they're just calling it a tribe. And it's like, oh shit,
people long to be in gangs, and people talk about gangs is bad. Yeah, the violent side is bad, but again, gangs are transforming. Gangs weren't what they used to be in the 2090s. Now gangs are just almost damn near terrorism. You know what I'm saying? Like, you getting shot up by AKs and freaking ARs. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's war weapons. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what soldiers are using. Yeah. And now everybody got an Uzi. Everybody got, drums on their pistols. You know, it's war now. Yeah. You're no longer a gang member now. You're a soldier now. Gang members, where we come from, again, you're fighting with your bare hands. Like I said, the new gang members are joining martial arts groups, fight clubs, whatever you want to call it. Those are the new gang members of today's society. You're paying to be a gang member. Back then, you just got to jump in, and the payment is loyalty in your life. You know, protect me, I'll protect you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, I can see how people, for me, I always had this, like, I don't know, I guess perspective of, like, growing up, I felt like it was almost essential to be a part of gang or street life. Join a fraternity, join a fucking team, a sports team, or join the military. And it's like, each of those will provide a version of you needing to work with other people and needing to fucking exhibit power and weakness and this and just all, you know, the whole range of everything that requires going through some shit, you know, like.
Yeah, and that's funny you say that, because a lot of the veterans that die from commit suicide from the army or the military, right? It's because they lost that group protection. They don't, you know, when you join the military, first, like, I'm serving my country, but really you join a brotherhood, sisterhood, right? And you're representing something. There's codes. There's in the military, there's codes. There's ethics you have to follow. You know what I'm saying? You die for me, I die for you. And get out the military, and it's like, I don't have that identity no more. Who am I? Like I said, right? That's why I'm still a gangster to this day. That's my identity. That's why I grew up with. And whether I'm in the military or not, that's I still belong to something. I still have a code. I still have my background. You know, whether people don't like me being a crip, well, what do you want me to be, or you just be an individual, cool, with no codes. Nobody's gonna check me if I do something stupid. Yeah, you know, that's why all these pedophile serial killers come from, right? Because they got no identity. Yeah, right.
Same with all these people and the whole sex changes and all this crazy shit.
It's no identity. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And so, like, same thing for that's why people join these organizations, these fight clubs, you know, or these martial arts groups, because they need that. Oh, like, same thing back in like the Japanese. A lot of dudes join karate clubs and they bang their dojo. I'm from the Shotokan dojo. I do this kind of karate, you know. Same thing back in China. I do dragon style kung fu. I'm from this temple. I'm from that temple. This my teacher. You know, we banging their teachers. You know what I'm saying? I learned from Ip Man. Oh, you learn from that dude. I'm from this school. You know, that's still gangs. Yeah, they don't call it gangs, but that's the same thing. Everybody wants to belong to something. They want codes. They want ethics, and if you go join these alpha groups, whether male, female, they have a list of rules, codes you will abide by. You join the mafia, they still got codes, you know, and rules you got to abide by. You join the cartel, and I promise you, they still got the rules and their codes that they abide by. Everybody has codes and rules, and that's what makes people want to die for that code. You know, that's what it is. And if you're not willing to die for something, whether you think it's right, morally or ethically wrong, you know, think about this. What's the number one thing in The Walking Dead? What's the number one lesson from The Walking Dead?
I would say survive.
Nope. Hive mentality.
Yeah.
Right. Negan. Think about it. Like, my favorite part about the whole Walking Dead was Negan and his the survivors.
I didn't watch all. Like, I only watched a little bit. Yeah.
So when the world ended, the main character, you know, he went to go find his family, and then when he got to his family, then he rebuilt the group as a survival group, and they stuck together. You know, they protected each other, just as like anybody else on the street, right? You protect each other.
Yeah.
They didn't call themselves a gang until they established their own city called Alexandria, right? And then that's their turf. Until Negan and his group came in and said, nah, this is mine. And that's where they had the war, right? Alexandria versus Negan and his group of people. But the thing was, with Negan, all his people was loyal. And they was willing to die for him because he had set rules and codes for them to operate off of. The same thing for Rick Grimes and his group of Alexandria. They had codes and rules they lived by off. Like, you know, they tried to do it the democratic way, saying, all right, you elect your leader, I'll lead you guys, blah, 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 with the rule, right? Negan said, I'm a dictator, these are my rules, and then we're going to live off these rules. But at the end of the day, you want to take the apocalypse lessons, you have to be a group to survive. A gang, again, a gang. And people who look down on gangs, it's wild, because if everybody is an individual, I promise you this, no business will operate. In order to create a business, you need people. I mean, as much we don't like to praise being an employee of somebody, but you need a group of employees to operate your business. But again, business and gangs are different, because once you're done, you hang up. You know, if you can quit anytime, you can leave anytime, you can get fired, whatever. You don't have to die for that business. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You
But
know,
most people do die for their fucking shitty business they're working
Right.
for, which is fucked up.
Yeah, you know. But at the end of the day, when you're outside of that business, you're a floating soul. You don't belong to nobody. You know, you don't get invited to, you know, the homie's house with 40, 50 people waiting for you and say, hey, you know, and that's also the advantage of being in the gang. You know, I'm not saying go be out there and carry a 9mm and start robbing people. I'm saying the advantage of being a gang is that you have access to other people within that group. You know, you can always meet somebody's uncle who has a story to tell you, whether he's in a good position or bad position. You can learn something from them. You got an auntie who can teach you how to cook this. You got somebody else's dad that can teach you how to do something that you didn't know how to do. That's one thing I learned because I was always around other people that was teaching me. Like the homie's dad was a carpenter. He invited me to go out to do some carpentry work. You know what I'm saying? The other homie's dad owned the restaurant, so he brought me in. He taught me how to run a business. Right? He most of the time he was like, hey, you handle cash register, you handle the patrons that come in to eat, you know, learn how to carry cash, how to work with you know what I'm saying? I was a 15-year-old kid running a restaurant by myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The dude was in the back, you know, just chilling.
Yeah.
And, you know, he trusted me to run his business. A 15-year-old, I think about it, I was like, damn, that's wild, bro. I was a manager, I didn't even know it. I thought I was doing something cool here, you know? You know, and he was building me to be a manager the whole time.
Yeah.
Again, that was the advantage of being a gang. I had access to everybody. And it was great because when we went to the clubs, I would just walk in. Oh, hey, let him through the backside, the side, you know, side doors. And we had a VIP, 15 years old in the clubs. The whole scene of Goodfellas happened to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
15 years old, 16, going to clubs.
Yeah.
VIP, everybody's, hey, you know, like it was. I feel like it was like the Italian mafia, but just with my community.
Yeah. That's dope, man. That is cool. Like I can relate in my own version. Like for me, like growing up, where I lived, it was normal to have 30 to 40 kids just like in front of my house all the time. Like just because there was like a foster house with fucking like 20 kids and then just hella people in my neighborhood. And like, it was like that, you know, it's like, well, I don't know. It's a trip too. Cause now even looking back, I still know majority of these people. And it's like, dude, these people do this and this and this. And just from that little circle, it's like, we weren't a gang, but we fucking, I guess we were acting like it in ways. And like, I don't know. It's cool. It's like how many connections exist between all these people. And it's like, and I even think of it now. It's like, I don't know. Oh, okay. So like, what's the right way to say this? Like, okay. I guess a set that who I'm friends with, I grew up with, all that shit, right?
Yeah.
If I tap in with them, I can talk to fucking restaurant owners, fucking all these different types of like powerful businessmen, people who've purchased fucking mansions on the beach and this and that. And I'm like, dude, these were the fucking real gangsters. Like, damn. And now they're doing this shit. And it's like, it's because of that code and and that honor.
Yeah.
And the connections that they're able to create these shops and like have people support it and have it just flow in the right direction.
Yeah, like there was a recent opening of a business called the Spicy Lao Kitchen. Shout out to Spicy Lao Kitchen out here in San Diego. It's located off the 15 on East Claremont.
Okay.
Yeah, you exit 15, so you Claremont right there.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see Spicy Lao Kitchen, right? Hey. And then when I saw the video of everybody opening up, I saw all the Asians, like Heartbreaker, GQ Fam, all the Asians that's in their gang community. I know them because I have family members that belong, that not belong, but they know them because family ties, and I couldn't make it. I was out there hustling, but when I saw the video of all of them, it's like, damn, that's the one I'm talking about, that 40, 50 people that always pulls through, 100 people. Now it's more than that. And, and that's the kind of community that a lot of people have forgotten about. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I'm telling you, you got to be part of something. You want to be something bigger. Because you learn more from people. But if you're just by yourself saying, I can do this by myself because I can read 100 books a month. Yeah, but at the end of the day, if you're not part of a community, you're not gonna grow as a person.
Yeah, dude. No, absolutely. Like when I finally realized that it's like the best position for me to be in is in rooms where everybody's smarter than me or knows different shit than me. And it's like, I'm not trying to be the person who fucking knows everything. Like when it's my turn, cool. But like outside of that, I'm trying to just soak up game and like absorb it. Like there's so much to learn from all these different people and their experiences, and especially, again, the loyalty that exists, because that's the fucking foundational piece. It's like a lot of people just go with respect, but it's like if you don't have loyalty, then the respect isn't as powerful. Or if you go with only loyalty but no respect, then that's not as powerful. It's like to have all of those things move forward. And when you have people who are part of an organization, everybody's down and understands the rules, rather than just like a scenario of like when people just make a lot of friends and have fucking 50 people over, but they don't really know anybody. Yeah. And they can't trust any of these people. It's like, well, fuck, there's a big difference between just fucking being somebody who knows how to fucking run your mouth and invite people somewhere versus like, yo, these people all come with loyalty and a certain level of respect is why this circle of 40, 50 people is so beneficial and powerful. Like, yeah, man, I think, it's just so fascinating, the stigma that gangs have, and kind of like we were saying earlier, it's like the violence is just violence. There's plenty of people violent who don't know any gang members and are not a gang. You know what I'm saying? Like violence is violence. That's a whole different like the branch of shit. Like I think a lot of people just combine it and say, oh, gang violence. It's like, bro, do you even know what that means? Like, what are you even saying right now?
And it's not like the movies where everybody shows up and they got the knives and everybody's doing this dance move with the knives. No, most times it's like when things are popping off, it's mostly the teenagers. You never see the 30-year-olds like shooting off at each other, you know, or 40-year-olds shooting off at each other. We trying to survive, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Try to be slick about it, you know, and like just go to where we know is safe. But it's the young ones always. And I'm guilty of it, you know, because I be going to parties knowing that my ops are gonna be there when I was young.
Yeah.
And so if we catch them, but yeah, once you pass that certain age, you try to move in a different way, you know what I'm saying? When I go to clubs, I don't go with the population. I go with the VIPs at. You know what I'm saying? It's like when I go in any club, I'll just pay that $300 to get that table. Now, I don't even care about no entry fee or like that. You know, people say, oh, you always flashing out. It's like, yeah, but also anybody down there can catch me slipping, you know, and I'd rather be up here and not be down there because I move different now.
Yep.
You know, that comes with wisdom. But when you're young and being a gang member, you got all that testosterone and you want to look like you're the hardest and you want to be known as the baddest. You know, I feel like now that I'm older, the hardest and the baddest is the one who's driving the Ferraris, owning the business, and still repping that gang.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm still crippin', and you see me, I'm shining now. The ones who ain't got nothing and say, I'm tough. Yeah, cool. But you tough and you still broke.
Yeah.
Like, you nobody.
Yeah.
You know, and all the OGs always taught me, go get your bag first, you know, and if, you know, and then you know, do what you want to do. But at the end of the day, it's like being young and tough, it means really nothing. Oh, yeah, cool, you got an AR, you got an AK. Oh, well, woo-de-woo. Like, who can't get an AR and AK?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's just crazy, man. Like, people they don't even know what, it's like they're just serving and honoring their ego.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, that shit is going to get you nowhere but trouble and trouble and trouble and fucking disappointment time after time. Like, it feels good in the moment, but like, overall, like, if you let your ego win, then that's how we fucking end up in trouble and shit.
Like, in one of my songs that I'm about to release in my EP that's coming out in February, one of the lyrics says, you ain't tough, you know, we squabble from the jump. The word tough, it's not like the dictionary where you're hardened, you know, or you able to withstand challenges. Tough in the street sense, it's a mental word, right? You like, if you tough mentally in the streets, when somebody says something to you or somebody press you, you give them that dead ass look, like, shut up.
Yeah.
Like, I can beat you up. Okay, cool. That's tough.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not, I can flex on you and beat you up. And cool, you beat me up. But I'm still tough mentally. That's tough.
Yeah, absolutely. I fuck with that. Yeah. Dude, definitely. Dude, like, something I talk about a lot is mental toughness. Like, you know, that's the shit that gets us far, because having that understanding, like how you describe tough like that, that's the shit that can walk you through your hurt emotions. That's the shit that'll walk you through your fucking heartbreak. That's the same shit that'll walk you through fucking standing face to face with somebody trying to threaten you or hurt you or something. Like, that shit is so fucking powerful, dude. Like, and I think that's a product of knowing who you are, what you stand for, and like, that's just the result. It's like, all right, well, I know who I am. I know what I stand for. I don't need to pop off right now. All right, like, you really want to try this? Like, I don't even have to say that, you know? Like,
yeah.
that shit is the powerful thing, and that's the thing that I try and breed in my kids and try and, like, cultivate and grow inside of them, is like, all right, we live in a different age. You don't have to fight, or you do, whatever, I don't know, whatever. But, like, to understand, to have the mental toughness, and it's like, whether you're going to be a nerd or a fucking gangster or a this or that or whatever, like, you still need that, and it's still beneficial always. And that's going to be like your access to dealing with real motherfuckers. Because it's like, it's like, I think about it for myself. If I didn't have my own mental toughness and know what I stand for, even just to do this interview with you, I would get in my head or be intimidated or this or whatever, right? Like whatever the fuck I can make up that I'm not secure with myself with, and just start making judgments and assumptions and this and that and all this shit. It's like, no, fuck that. Like, I know what I am. I know what I do. Now, what's up? Who are you? What do you do? You know, what are you up to? Like,
right.
And I think that shit's cool. Like, we can meet in the middle there and like, and get to real shit. And this is the power of like being a real motherfucker, really doing the work, establishing your understanding with yourself, your God, your spirit, and moving forward and creating great shit, right? Like now we get to create history. Like right now we're making history. Every time you make a song, we're making history. Like anything we do that we document, we put it out, we co-create, it's just better. You know, like it's no coincidence why when all of a sudden we did this together, it just helped us both. Yeah, you know, definitely. And it's like that's what the fuck this shit's all about. And I think this is what I want to like really paint with any interviews we do is like, dude, look what the fuck we can do when we do the work and we show up loyal to ourselves, respectfully, loyal to each other, respectfully. And it's like the biggest, I think, underlying theme, what connects us is family and the way that we relate to all of it and other people.
Yeah. The one thing I want to talk about, the whole family situation, we can talk about family for hours, but we got to limit this for this episode.
For this one, we got to say.
Yeah, so if anybody took anything from this episode, is that every man and every woman, they long for family, whether it's for their own mom and dad or their extended side of the family, like grandpa, grandma, or their cousins, they aunts and uncles, right? Everybody long for their family. And a lot of people don't voice that. I feel like that's the problem with today's society is that they don't appreciate their family too much. And we need to get back into that. I know every man that I fuck with, they fuck with their wife heavy, with their kids heavy. They you know what I'm saying? I have one of the homies up north. He's not really strong with his mama. He always, he says what he needs to say about his mom, but he never disrespect her. He knows that she has flaws, and he loves his dad, and he knows his dad has flaws. But at the end of the day, he still longs for their parents, right? Mm-hmm. And same thing for his wife, and her mama don't get along too much with her husband, etc. But at the end of the day, everybody longs for their family, right? Including me, even though I wasn't raised with one, and I was raised with other people's family, I still long for my family. But the one thing, if you want to really get anything from today, if you really want to change the narrative, don't worry about what your mom and dad did. Worry about what you're doing and how you can make your family better. And that starts with, being the strongest version of yourself. We're not perfect, but we can start from right now. As long as you identify your problems and say, hey, I could probably talk more to my kids. I can probably, take my significant other on more dates and talk to them about more things that I want to do and what they want to do, instead of trying to live that I'm going to go to work, come back home, and expect something to happen. So everything takes work. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be a better version of yourself, you got to work on yourself first, and then that's how you're going to make your family. And then after that, get your family involved.
Yeah, I like that, man. No, I love that, dude. I couldn't agree more, man. That's exactly it. And yeah, bro, fuck. I think that's the perfect way to wrap this up and the perfect note to end on. I appreciate it, bro. Plug all your stuff one time and we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I get my own plug, right? Back on My Grind is out on all platforms right now. Like Us, the #1 song. DEADLOCS is #2. Believe it or not, Dead is now #2. DEADLOCS is #3, and Day One has now become #4, and it's moving up to #3, and then Pictures is #5. So those are your top 5 songs right now on the album, which is gaining extreme amount of views on YouTube and on the streaming platform. And then we got the War single that's out right now. The visuals coming out tomorrow on January 12th on Friday. And then we got the new EP that's coming out. I haven't given a title to it yet, but it's going to be 7 tracks. Again, we got a lot of things we talk about: family, storytelling, definitely a lot of storytelling. And it's pretty much it's pretty much waiting in anticipation for the second album. We were supposed to release the second album in May, but however, due to certain circumstances with the homies, we had to take a step back and focus on a smaller project. So we're gonna release 7 tracks just for you guys, and then the album's gonna come out right afterwards.
Fuck yeah. Hell yeah, dude. That's exciting, man. And you guys can find him everywhere. Yamamoto Boss. Instagram at Yamamoto_boss. Yeah, go look up his music, download the album, run up all the numbers, share it, fucking let us know what your favorite songs are. Reach out on his Instagram, my Instagram, whatever. Let us know, tag us, all that good shit. And yeah, thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.